for tuning in to the Just Balance Reality Network. I am your host, Ty Speaks. We are about to get into it. Go check out my previous video on what the houses are in astrology, as far as the life areas, because we're going to jump right into the first house. The first house is the house of the rising sign or the ascendant sign. So everyone that is born, they have a sun sign, which pretty much everyone knows. Then you have your moon sign where things start getting very intricate. Then the rising sign or the ascendant sign is the sign, the zodiac sign that was coming up over like the horizon and things like that when you took your first breath. Okay. So this sign changes every 2 to 3 hours. So you could be born on the same day as someone, but depending on the time of your birth determines your rising sign. Okay. So you're going to hear me interchange and call it rising or ascendant sign. So the rising sign is in the first house. It's always the first house. The first house, there are 12 houses. There's 12 of almost everything. If you notice a trend or a pattern in this earth, 12 is a very spiritual number. So we starting at the first house, we're going to do videos 1 through 12, and we're going to go into the signs ruling the houses. So let's first talk about the first house. Okay, so the first house is the house of the self. Now, you will hear some astrologers say that this is the house where you're seen as this sign. That's not all the way correct. This is what you feel as yourself, as you're on an inner level, as your I am. This is who I am. Now, when we get to the video about the 10th house or the midheaven, that is how you are seen in the earth. That is your representation of you. But the first house is more so of who you are on an inner level, and it's also the house of how you look physically. Okay. So it's your physicality, your structure, how resilient you are. It offers insight on, different parts of your energy, how you bring in energy, how you take in energy, how you give energy. It is the house of the I am. Okay. So when we talk about who I am, we talk about our character, who you are as a person. What personality traits do you have that the world may see in an instance where, okay, if you're a Sagittarius rising, you may like big things. You may like to over exaggerate your character or your personality. Or you may like to, if you're an Aquarius rising, you may like to dress in a certain, eccentric type of original way where, you truly look different, because this is the house where you express your uniqueness. And this can be expressed in so many different ways. It's how you dress can be expressed in this house. Your appearance, whether you are rocking these shoes versus that shoes, you can see a lot of the personality of the sign in this house. Okay. This is also the house of how you carry your attitude. So if you are, and we're going to get into all of the signs in the houses, but if you are an Aries rising, you may carry your attitude very boldly. You may be a very courageous person. Or if you're a Libra rising, you may be all about beauty and aesthetics, and, your look has to be prim and proper. There is different ways that you, in this house, you show your approach to life. Okay. This is the house of life. It is how you express your life. It is how you are integral to yourself. This is the house of integrity, the house of freedom, where you are who you are at the core, and you can outwardly show it as well. Now, sometimes there's a mask that we wear, and this is the first mask that you will put on when you meet people. So if you are a Leo rising, you may come off as really dramatic and very warm and just like a lion type energy. You may come off this way because of your first house, but that may just be the mask that you wear, because we still have other areas in the chart that make up the personality. But this is the mask that people are going to see. Okay, that's why I said this isn't exactly your image per se. Like your image, the difference between the first house and the 10th house is the first house, again, is the mask that you wear. But the 10th house is, you don't have to worry about a mask, because people are going to see you as that energy in that 10th house. So people are you're going to carry that energy in your reputation in the 10th house. So I know if you're new to astrology, we're going to get into the 10th house later on, because that's the house of the public image. So it doesn't matter what your mask is. People are going to see you as that image. Okay. You're midheaven. That's the highest point in the sky. But here with the first house, you're going to wear a mask because it's what you believe is part of your personality. Okay. So that is information on the first house. So we want to now break down the signs in the house. Okay, so whatever sign is in the house, every sign rules a body part. And these signs will determine how you look. And so I'm going to show a couple celebrities that have certain looks that are certain rising signs. And it's very interesting because it makes you wonder, like, before we were born, we all had a time that we came into this world. And that time that we come in, we don't know that time. Our parents don't know that time, but the universe knows that time. The creator knows that time. So you're already formed and shaped and manifested based off of the time that you're coming into the world. So like, for instance, and I'm going to talk about it in the next video. If you're Aries rising, Aries risings have really strong facial structures, or really pronounced, jawbones, or heavy brow bones. And it's like, when you look at people that are Aries risings and you see that within their face, you wonder, like, wait, but they were crafted in the womb to look like how they look, but they were born at this time. How can that sign match up to, you know what I mean? Like, how can that sign match up to how they look if no one knows when they're going to be born? But the creator knows all things. The universe knows all things. All of our time of being born and our time to die, it's already known. It's just unknown to us as a people. Okay, so it's really interesting. It's very interesting when you look at the physical and spiritual areas of manifestation within this house. So physically, in the first house, you're going to show your personality by what you wear, by your hair, by your physical body features and structures. And then spiritually, how you portray yourself, your uniqueness, or how self-aware you are. All of those things are the unseen. your honor and your integrity. Like, how righteous are you as a person? Your righteousness, what makes you righteous in your energy based off of the sign that is within you. Okay. So now this house, because I don't want to go off on a tangent, but this house, the natural ruler of this house is Aries. Okay. This is a fire house. Okay. So now it's important to know the elements, because the elements tell how the energy moves physically and non-physically or spiritually within the house. So this is a quick house. It's a bold house. It has the energy of Aries in this house. So if you have Virgo on the rising, your energy, your boldness may be to be critical of other people's personality, or to be critical of your own personality if you have Virgo on the rising. So because this is a fire house, fire represents your energy. Point blank. It represents your energy, your passion, your life force, or how you express yourself. Okay? And the fire represents, your drive and your motivation, like your willpower. That's how fire signs show themselves. So since this is a fire house, your expression of who you are will fit the sign of the house. Okay? And it'll come out very assertively. Why? Because this is an Aries house. Okay? And Aries energy is very assertive. It's very aggressive. It's very direct. Okay? It's outspoken energy. So when you have energy of this house like that with your sign in the house, that sign will come out much stronger, whatever you put in or you put out. Okay, so the signs, the energy works like is as within, so without. Okay. So the first house is very important because it's the house of beginnings. And life goes in a circle. All of these signs and energy, planets, the houses, it's all going in a circle. So before the first house is the 12th house. Now you would think, no, the 12th house comes after the first house when you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But we always go in a circle. It's going counterclockwise. It's going clockwise. I'm sorry. So when you're going clockwise, the house that comes before the first house, just like a clock is always going. The 1 comes after the 12. The 12th house is the house of your past life. Okay. And we're going to get into it. I know I'm going all around because this is an exciting topic. It's exciting to get to know yourself. It's exciting to know, who am I? And this is what you find out from the first house. Now, based off of who you are, who am I, is based off of that past life, is why I'm bringing up the 12th house also. So this is the house of beginnings. The 12th house is the house of endings. So based off of how you ended things in your past life, okay? And if you don't believe in reincarnation or whatever, it's cool, because we don't exactly know. But there is evidence that proves astrologically, and there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that has happened before, right? And we are souls. We are a soul inside of a body. Our soul lives forever. Okay? Stay with me now. Our soul lives forever. I'm like a big information book, seriously. So if you're on my channel, keep up with me, please. Our soul lives forever in this body. But when this body has its end date, its ending, its 12th house ending, or when it has its death date, that soul now is going to go to a new vessel. Now, you may say, okay, what about heaven and hell? So, based off of how your soul lived in the previous vessel, determines your heaven or your hell in the next vessel. So, if you wonder why some people are here suffering in this life versus other people are in heaven, celebrities or whatever you consider to be heaven, or Gandhis, or, whatever, that's based off of how you lived previously. So astrology shows you how to fulfill your destiny in this life now that you're living, to go to a higher manifestation of yourself in the next life. Okay, so you're not going to remember the previous life, but you can get some hints when you start to know yourself astrologically. You can get a little bit of an understanding by looking at your astrological chart, your natal chart. And you can also get some understanding by looking at your family, looking at your mother, looking at your father, because they're representations of your past life. People around you are representations of your past life or your life currently. Okay, so the first house is the house of existence, how you exist in the world, the house of beginnings. Okay, it is your status. It is your status of who you are. And you feel it. You feel it. You know who you are at the core level, but you may not be able to explain it. So astrology will help you to explain who you are and to get a better know-how of who I am, right? So, and that is the introduction to the first house. So now we're going to get into the signs of the houses. So let's do it.